If all the world starts spinning fast, I'll pause and take my stand. Coffee in hand, I lace up truth with heaven's battle plan. No fear, no doubt, I suit up strong, is all the fits just right. I'm walking tall, I'm prayed up now, I'm ready for the fight. Wrapped in truth, no lies allowed, I walk this road with my head unbowed. No fake disguise, no twisted words, just gospel truth, pure and undisturbed. Our God, my morning song is mine, I move along. Shield of faith, there's one in hand, is our I firmly stand. Truth on my ways, peace on my feet, victory's mine, I won't retreat. Guard my heart, Lord, keep it clean, your righteousness, my daily sheen. No shame, no guilt, no hidden stain, I wear your grace like a holy chain. Our God, my morning song is mine, I move along. Shield of faith, there's one in hand, is our I firmly stand. Truth on my ways, peace on my feet, victory's mine, I won't retreat. Blues lace tight with peace I bring, good news echoes when I sing. I step with calm through storm and flame, each stride I take I lift your name. Our God, my morning song is mine, I move along. Shield of faith, there's one in hand, is all I firmly stand. Truth on my ways, peace on my feet, victory's mine, I won't retreat. I'm renewed, no fear inside, salvation's crown my holy God. Thoughts align with heaven's view, I see the world through what is true. Our God, my morning song is mine, I move along. Shield of faith, there's one in hand, is all I firmly stand. Truth on my ways, peace on my feet, victory's mine, I won't retreat. Word in hand, I speak with fire, sharper than steel, it lifts me high. No weapon formed can take me down. I fight with faith, I wear the crown. Our God, my morning song is mine, I move along. Shield of faith, there's one in hand, is all I firmly stand. Truth on my ways, peace on my feet, victory's mine, I won't retreat. So here I stand, the day begun, armored up till setting sun. With every breath I walk His way, in truth and love I face the day.
Hello and good afternoon. Just going to do a quick upload here. I came across some other information and I thought it might be kind of cool to break it down and talk about some of the things on here a little bit. I'm hoping that the way that I put this out puts it in a little clearer perspective for those of you that are watching out there on the other side. This is, I think, we'll call it, well, the name of this is Eagles Going Down, where we meet the end. So I'm thinking that this operation in Venezuela was the beginning of the end. And this is even going to include the 2020 elections, the infiltration and takeover that happened during the Biden administration. In reality, it started all the way back when Obama was in charge. So, but anyway, we'll talk about what or who Eagle is as we go through this. I'm just going to take and probably just do pretty much the whole show until the very end on a slideshow. So I have a lot of photographs, and a lot of these are like posts from Truth Social from President Trump and other people. So and I think these will help put things in perspective. So let me jump over here to the slideshow. All right. So anyway, welcome to Mr. E on America, and I am Mr. E, Kirk. Today we're diving into a massive, intricate conspiracy theory post from a January 8th, 2026 post by Digital Swolljer on X titled The Final Shadow Op. Now, the reason that I'm doing this is that I agree, and there was a lot of things that I've been putting out on this particular thing that happened when we went into Venezuela and picked up Maduro. So what this is going to do, it's going to weave together QAnon drops, Trump posts, global events, and the alleged deep state operations involving Clinton, Maduro, Iran, and much, much more. So let me give a quick disclaimer, though. This is an analysis, and it's a scripted breakdown of the post narrative, the post by Digital Swolljer. And you can find him on X by Digital Swolljer. So this is purely for discussion. So this isn't a live chat or live stream. So if you want to make any comments or anything, please add those in the comments, and we'll definitely be discussing things as time goes. So we'll break this down section by section, kind of like a story unfolding in real time. I was going to take and put this up on, I think it was Thursday. Well, actually, yeah, Thursday I was going to do this, but I had some things come up. And then Wednesday and Friday I was out of town. So I knew those were coming, but things don't always work out how we hope. So go ahead and grab your coffee. Let's map this out. Let's cover the signals, stages, connections, and get to the big reveal. So the post that detonated everything, what they call Trump's Eagle post. Let's see here. I think I can. So this here is Trump's Eagle post. There was a post. If I go, I think it's on the let me go on the previous one here real quick. Let me go back. If you look on this top corner, I think if you can see my mouse, the original picture that was posted was the wind generators in the background with the number 13, and then there was some information that was posted with that. So we're gonna hit on those. So this first post is the spark on President Trump's January 2nd, 2026 post about a dead eagle, time-stamped at 9:16 a.m. with the caption, "Eagles going down." So, oops. Get in here. There we go. Okay, so it's not just a bird, it's a signal. In Secret Service code, Eagle is Bill Clinton's code name. This ties to Clinton missing his Epstein testimony on December 17th, 2025. Yep, he did not show. He was a no-show. There's a link to a Q drop timestamp. It matches Q 916, where it quotes, "We are saving Israel for last," which allegedly references Clinton as a keystone in the shadow networks, not geopolitics. So this isn't coincidence. It's a kill box sync. So Clinton as the connector between intelligence, finance, NGOs, trafficking, and regimes. His absence shifts from speculation to activation. So the big picture, so we're going to get into that. It's all connected. So everything converges with Clinton's no-show, Trump's post, the Q drops, signaling the end of a global shadow network. So let's emphasize on some pattern recognition. Okay, we have to stop asking what happened and ask how is it all connected. The operation began long ago and it's in its final stages now. So from signals to architecture mapping, if we quote Q, it's going to be historic, planned long ago. Okay. So what if? What if Maduro wasn't overthrown? He was extracted surgically by Patriot forces in a shadow op. Now, earlier today, on the same day that this is going to be posting, on my Supernatural Crossfire channel on YouTube, you should be able to find it on BitChute and on Rumble as well. I talked about some of the inner workings of the ops there and some of the equipment that was used. It's a pretty interesting take on it. Excuse the cough, though. I've got a little bit of sinus drain today. I don't know if I'm coming down with something or what, but So anyway, Venezuela was a deep state laundromat involved in shadow banking, narco trafficking, and election rigging via Smartmatic, Sequoia, and Dominion servers. So there's a key question. What if Maduro was relocated under a deal? This isn't about communism, but removing CIA-protected assets, compromising elections. So to tie a bigger war, fifth-generation warfare, wins disappear quietly. Trump as a wartime president, no parades, just permanent removal. Okay, so then we get into stage 2, the Clinton core and the Wiener laptop clock. So let's wind back the clock to December 15th, 2025. We have Grassley's letter demanding the Wiener laptop review by December 29th, of which contents include Epstein Ops, Clinton Foundation, crimes against children. So let's connect the dots. Clinton skips his testimony. Trump post Eagle post 9:16 a.m. syncing with Q post 9:16. So there was a narrative shift. Venezuela as a distraction. Wiener laptop as a real trigger. Clinton as a keystone. So this is military justice unfolding in stages with precision. So it didn't really get into it, but I think it left it for you to maybe think about, put it on the back shelf, speculate. Why didn't Clinton show up for his deposition? Very good question. So this is not politics, but a real-time kill chain activation. The eagle signal means the board, in quotes, Clinton is down. So maybe that will start answering some questions for you. All right, so we hit stage 3, and this is the Iran Next, or otherwise known as Operation Sum of All Fears. Okay, so that was this drop here that talked that. Okay, so we invoke some more Q drops, Q947, where it says Iran Next, and then there's with the Q1306 Sum of All Fears. It's not a movie reference, but a preempted false flag. Okay, so describe positioning. Trump's Make Iran Great Again hat as a signal. In the Middle East, carrier groups and rangers mobilized. Plus there was like 30,000 plus other troops in Kuwait. And then there was also a naval comms blackout. So take note, this is not an invasion, but it's making Iran irrelevant as a proxy for distractions. So in other words, controlled opposition or World War III threats. Do you understand that? That's basically kind of putting Iran in a timeout where they basically can't do anything. Okay, so like Venezuela, it's asset removal in fifth generation warfare. Rogue states as protected and not threats. So Q did say, he said Iran next. He didn't say Iran war. Okay, that's important. The theater is exposed. So rogue states were never real. And I've talked about this numerous times and even recently. Okay, so we'll get into that. We're exposing the script. So for 70 years, rogue nations, Venezuela, Iran, Cuba, North Korea, they were all CIA installed actors for dialectics, funding, and fear. Okay, and it was during Trump's first term that North Korea was freed. Okay, and that was when Trump was the first president to actually walk across the border into North Korea. Okay, I think Obama did too, but I don't think he was president at the time that he did it. And this was because Obama was all part of that scheme too. So some of the examples are Castro, Chavez, and the Kim family of North Korea as employees, not enemies. And what it is justified endless conflict, making boogeymans. Okay? So President Trump's role ended the show without any shots, only military extractions. Okay, so we pull out the foundation and the castle collapses. Messages, we call them comms, aren't spoken, they're signaled like on board Air Force One. Okay, the signal on board Air Force One is this photo here that was posted by Dan Scavino. So we have a buckled seatbelt but no passenger. Trump's 4547 crypto watch synced with timestamps. Okay, we're going to zoom in on that. That's the watch on her wrist. Okay. So the interpretation here would be secured asset in transit, Venezuela as a digital asset corridor. Like in other words, like shadow banking, laundering, those are now on hold. So there's ties to Zero Hedge on Venezuela as a Bitcoin superpower. Zero Hedge wrote about that. So there's a Q drop 2134 where it talks about buckle up buttercups, transition to redeployment phase, not symbolism, it's continuity of command. Okay, so now we talk about where it says first arrest will verify action and confirm future direction. The Podesta has fallen, okay, and the storm has begun. So, what is a Podesta? Okay. The definition of Podesta refers to a historical title used in medieval Italy. It was the name given to the highest civil official in various city-states. Similar to a mayor, the term derives from the Latin word potestas, meaning power. Okay? So, here's where most people stop too early. Okay? Because Q never said the first arrest would be loud. Q said it would verify action. So to truly understand what was truly arrested, you have to return to a drop the most scrolled past. Okay, and let me see here let me see if it was this next one. Yes. So this here, apply this drop to Maduro, installed ruler captured silently, first arrest verifies action. Q 3717, marker 9 as 9th Circuit Court. Okay, so then we get on to President Trump's confirmation, where he retruths Truther Media on 2020 fraud. So watch, it says watch California, or watch CA, Q 1197, collapse of rogue regimes, courts in sequence. Okay, next slide. Okay, so on the timeline, where Maduro's detained, Eagle Post Ninth Circuit activates, not a name, it's a node of illegitimate power. Okay, so the go signal, how comms give the order. Okay, hours before Maduro's fall, Q452, enough is enough signals go. G-O in brackets equals go. Okay, so then Trump's Iran post, where he put shots, not shoots, as a syntax signal, action completed, and it mirrors the Q format. Okay, result, Venezuela collapses within 24 hours. Syntax as trigger in 5GW, orders through mirrors, not mics. Okay, next slide. When does a bird sing? Okay, the trigger and the test. Q3713 chain, unseal, arrest, verification. Q153, when does a bird sing? When caged or leveraged. Okay, Maduro as the trigger, Venezuela as election rigging hub for 72 countries. Trump decapitated the back-end system. The implications of this are no more safe harbors. The first arrest verifies future direction. Bird in cage means evidence, testimony incoming. Next slide. So, this photo here, we don't have the Maduro smile, but this is the moment that the diamonds were returned. So, we also mentioned some stuff here about clothing changes and also thumbs up by Maduro. Okay, so Maduro thumbs up, smiling in custody with U.S. agents, not humiliation, negotiation. So, we'll look at these. Here's another clothing change. And here we have thumbs up. Now, there was also the video of him being perp walked into the Southern District of New York. And he was in handcuffs, and he was also given a thumbs up for that as well. I didn't want to put any videos in because it's a little difficult to keep switching back between slideshow videos and lose my spot. So I wanted to keep everybody up to date here. Okay, this is a screenshot from the perp walk. All right, so the diamonds metaphor, Trump's 2021 quote about returning stolen jewels. Here, diamonds in quotes are rigged election tools keys. Okay, so we're going to flip this. Maduro hands over info on the narratives, finances, Smartmatic code, repossession, not recounts. So the power shifts back. The signal now goes live. Truther Media confirmed over the target. And then President Trump also retruthed. Real AF Patriot. Okay, and this here is talking about Nevada, referencing the 2020 elections. And Julie Snark, one of my favorite people to read on X as well, on this post here. And she just basically put a President Trump post up, and she retweeted that. Now, keep in mind, every one of these posts were originally posted on X, grabbed off of X, and then reposted on Truth Social. Okay, so President Trump, or at least somebody in his office posting for President Trump, is still accessing Twitter/X. Okay, keep that in mind. All right, so now the connected nodes, China, Serbia, Iran, Venezuela, Cuba, Italy, Canada, they're all in the military intelligence reports. Okay, 5th gen warfare. These are all acts of war via keystrokes. Truther Media, as in MilCiv Alliance, Operation Live, winning the info war. Okay, so the military moves, and they hope that you never notice. Okay, force details: Rangers, airborne, troops in Kuwait, carriers in blackout. Okay, now when we do the execution of Venezuela, there's 80 plus casualties, no U.S. casualties or equipment loss. And if you I want to just plug again my video live stream on my other channel, Supernatural Crossfire. You'll find the link down below the video. That talks about the whole thing, about the casualties, how they happened, and what was going on, and how Venezuela was absolutely helpless. They couldn't do anything even if they tried when our forces went in and Maduro and Flores were both captured. So this isn't a regime change, okay, like the left would like you to believe. It's a digital war cleanup of infrastructure. Okay, so if we shift this, so the Venezuela is disconnected. There's others included that I mentioned up above that are now destabilized, especially what's going on with Iran, Cuba as well. And if we want to even talk about any of the other South and Central American states that are involved in the drug trade, or sending their not so finest people to infiltrate the United States, they're going to see what happened in Venezuela, and the word is getting out that they should be very afraid of the United States coming in to do any kind of operation in their country. Okay? They will be 100% helpless. They won't be able to do a darn thing. And the interesting thing is Russia and China won't be able to either, because in Venezuela, all of their equipment that they were using, minus the old F-16s, which never got off the ground, they were all Russian and Chinese missiles and radar systems, and none of them got a shot fired off. Okay? So what we have here is a surgical collapse of this laundering superhighway. It was a liberation, not a coup. All right? Moving on. So the Venezuela vector in this here, they're calling it the tech laundromat for global control. Okay, in other words, it's laundering of money and everything. Everything is being done through Venezuela. It was actually a hub for all of this. Okay, so if we look at the voting aspect of it, on the origin of it, Smartmatic as a regime weapon, per defector Hugo Caraval. He was one of the top people in Hugo, or actually, I think he was with Chavez, but he was also one of the upper guys that was in Maduro's administration, one of his military guys. He's in U.S. custody, and he has been telling everything. I think a lot of what he talked about when he blew the whistle helped us in how we did the operation to, I would say, liberate Maduro. Okay, so we have like this chain here. It's Smartmatic, Sequoia, Dominion. Sequoia actually got bought out by Dominion, so it kind of went in that order of control. So I think it might have been a way for them to say, oh, well, we didn't have anything to do with that, and then Dominion owns it now. So they call it control adjudication, and it's not every vote. Okay, so why was it targeted? For global perception, like a global perception layer export. They're saying that Powell and Flynn were over the target. There are some people out there that have other thoughts on how Powell and Flynn are involved, if they were involved. I think they were to some point. I'm still on the fence because both of them, I see a lot of good things that they're putting out, and they seem to be in President Trump's corner. But I know prior to that, I know General Flynn was not quite in Trump's corner for a lot of things. And I don't know if that was just for optics to take him out of the picture, to make him look like he was not a relevant player in this whole thing. So that very well could be. So this didn't have anything to do with oil or black market control. Well, so they say. Now, on another layer of this, an aspect of this, this allows us to get back control of the infrastructure that we paid for and put in place in the oil that we bought before Hugo Chavez naturalized everything. They basically stole all of that oil, and that basically that money was ours, plus the infrastructure that our oil companies put billions and billions of dollars into to be able to refine that oil, that the type of oil that they have in Venezuela. Okay, so now getting back off of the oil thing and back into the Dominion thing, Sequoia Dominion, and what they call the vendor shell game. So there's like a daisy chain, same code base, but rebranded for deniability. And it was privatized to avoid scrutiny. The mechanism, or the black box audits, foreign servers, NGO cover, and it wasn't for accuracy, it was for plausible deniability. Okay, so when we expose this, we clear the map, and basically it's like game over. This was like a long-range insertion plan that was put into place to make all of this happen. I mean, when you look at how many spider webs off of this and how deep it went, there were a lot of things that you could speculate on what it was, but we're going to find that there was even more involved than what meets the eye on the initial glide over at the 40,000 foot view. So on this final piece here, on this section here, why did the eagle have to fall? So on the Q drop 916, there's some double meaning there when they talk about Israel, in quotes there, as infrastructure smokescreen for Clinton, Epstein, the DNC, and Soros. Oops, sorry about that. So moving on here, the eagle as a keystone. If we neutralize the eagle, we neutralize Clinton and also the Clinton Foundation. Okay, so this ends the game. So Trump's post right here confirms that the rigged system is dead. Okay, so now we get into some pattern recognition. This part here, if people are wondering, well, how does all of this fit in? Okay, so this was kind of a final strike, or an attempt on their end, but we're if you think about the Maduro pictures where we got Maduro's smile, we use it as leverage. But when that picture was posted with Maduro smiling and the thumbs up, we started to see some huge panic in Capitol Hill. And now we shift over to some domestic traders. And here we see these seditious six. Okay? And we're going to mainly highlight Mark Kelly. Look where my cursor is. We're going to highlight Mark Kelly. All of them are going to face some kind of justice for this. But Mark Kelly, the reason I want to bring this up, it's even bigger. Okay? So, this here was a post by Secretary Hegseth. Okay? It's kind of small for me to see it right here, but I'll kind of give you the gist of it. So he says 6 weeks ago, Senator Mark Kelly and 5 other members of Congress released a reckless and seditious video that was clearly intended to undermine good order and military discipline. As a retired Navy captain who is still receiving military pension, Captain Kelly knows he is still accountable to military justice and the Department of War and the American people. And he goes on to say, expect justice. Okay? So justice is coming for him. So Captain Mark Kelly, there's some stuff that goes a little bit deeper. You can actually go look up. This here will be a post by Secretary of War Pete Hegseth on X. You can find it if you go to his account on X. Okay? Mark Kelly is going to be court-martialed. Okay? And for what he did, I don't know if they're going to go with a sedition or if they're going to go with treason. But I have a feeling that they're going to find some other things on Captain Mark Kelly, and he's probably going to be court-martialed for treason. Okay? So there's a 7-year delta here on the Q post. So there's Trump's RNC speech. There was a repost at 005508, syncing with Q post 55. You know, that's the one that's talking about the storm is upon us. And then there's some confirmation where the Department of Labor posts Patriots in Control. Now, these are all X posts, everybody. Okay? And President Trump reposted all of these on Truth Social. So, Department of Labor posts on X, Patriots in Control, with this Trump image. And then there's like a fake news meltdown. But again, Trump reposted all these on Truth. Okay? So, a real-time confirmation and the final phase. So, the official ops, actually, on the overlap, there's public and classified comms align here. So, we're in what we call final phase active. So, remember at the beginning when I said that this is the beginning of the end? We're getting close to the end. Things are going to start moving very fast. So, on the official ops, Maduro is arraigned, Kelly reviewed, and the other lawmakers, not just the seditious 6, but others, many Democrats and quite a few Republicans as well. And I think there's going to be some Republicans that haven't really been even looked at or mentioned about things yet. You know, when they hide it back in the background and they're very quiet about certain things, and they just go in and they do their votes and they do their thing and they're done. Okay? So keep your eyes open. We're probably going to see there were percentages up as high as 98% of between the Congress and the Senate. Those politicians, 98% are not going to be coming back into their positions after the midterms. So we got some big questions here. So people always ask about, well, what about the rogue CIA? Well, because of this whole thing with Venezuela, it basically cut off funding also for Cuba and for other rogue places. So Serbia, I believe, was still under CIA control, and Ukraine as well. Okay? We're not going to really talk about Ukraine much in this here, but that's another captured state. So CIA has its fingers in a lot of different things, and so the CIA is basically being neutered here. Okay? So, and again, we talk about Eagle, Clinton as the keystone, and then we have the beginning of enforcement. Okay? So this is where we have the Mil-Civ Alliance. I mentioned that a little bit earlier. Okay, so it's not a theory. It's active. The storm is upon us, and the Patriots are in control. Okay, so let's see here. I don't know if this is going to put me back at the beginning. Yeah, so that puts us back at the beginning there. So let me summarize what we've gone through. And if you have to, you can go back through this because I'm putting some of the key pieces together here. So, and between this and my Supernatural Crossfire video from earlier this morning on the same day that this will be posted, January 10th, it'll help you put some more pieces in place with the operation on Venezuela. But this here also gives you some idea of who were all controlled and how by going out and taking Maduro out. Okay, again, this wasn't a coup. Okay, This was an extraction because we needed to get Maduro out. When they were talking about, when I say they, the intelligence agencies were saying that there were some leaks, or somebody had mentioned that we had a person on the ground that was letting them know, Maduro's actions, where he was going to be at certain times and what he was going to be doing, and he if he did things on a schedule, and to a point he did, but the information that they got helped with this whole thing to go very smoothly. And I don't know if anybody else has said it yet, but I'll be one of the first people to say that, what if Maduro was the intel person on the ground? Okay. He did have some private calls with President Trump. His calls were probably recorded, so they had to be very careful about what they said. But I think Maduro was basically saying, okay, it's go time. Let's do this. Because it wasn't much longer, and then this operation happened. All right, so let's do some wrap up here and kind of do some reflections. Okay, so the post that was put up there, it paints a vast, I guess you could call it an interconnected op that dismantled these rogue paradigms via signals, extractions, justice. It gives you an idea of comms, and these. It's almost like you have to have a decoder card that lets you know, like, is today a mirror day, or is today a day that when President Trump posts this, and we go off a date, time and date stamp and when it went out, to know where we're supposed to go get our information. If you look at all the Q drops, the Q drops weren't happening in real time. A lot of people thought that they were. The Q drops were the storyline and the script, and everything followed that script. And I think when people started to understand that was when we were getting, for certain place markers that had to be put in place, and that what they were doing. And one of them that we mentioned in here was place marker number 9. Okay, so from this point on, things are going to start moving a lot more quickly. Okay, so, and again, I just wanted to remind you, I only covered the salient parts of the post, but you can go look at the whole post that Digital Swolljer put up on X. Okay, so I think I'll try to put the link right directly to his Substack, to that post, and he's got 2 other posts that were previous to that you can look at as well. It'll help fill in some more blanks for you. They're long reads though, so be prepared. So this part that I'm talking about right now is part 3 of 3. The other 2 parts leading up to this one, again, I'll put the link just to this. The link for this Substack has the links for part 1 and 2 in it. You can look at those there. So do you have in conclusion, do you have any questions on this? If you have questions, throw them in the comments. So the questions I have for you is, what kind of patterns do you see here? Do you think this whole thing is plausible, or is it pure fiction? Me personally, I think it's not only plausible, I think that it's true. And that was why I said that all the Q drops were actually a script, and we were following a script for a movie. Everything is following a chain of events. But in that script, there were certain drops to go back to that would tell you where we were in the movie. Okay? So, let's see. Yeah, I like I said, I covered the salient parts. You'll probably find some more missing pieces that might clear some things up for you when you go read the Substack. And I'm really hoping that a lot of you that see this come up to the same conclusions that I have. Like I said, I was talking about this here for a while, bits and pieces, but I didn't put everything in a let's say I didn't put the puzzle together for you, and I hope this helps to put the puzzle together on this act in the movie. Okay, so I also wanted to mention that I don't have any connection in any way with Digital Swolljer or Alpha Warrior or any of the other people that that I seem to be in agreement with on what's going on here. We may or may, I don't know if they follow me back on X or Truth Social. I do follow them because I like the information. I like their thought patterns on what they think is going on, because it aligns up with the way that I think. I have an analytical mind. I think I have like an ADHD kind of mind as well. And as you've noticed, sometimes with some of my live streams, if I'm not following a direct script, I kind of go off on a tangent and then I have to digress and come back. But it's because my mind is working in overdrive, and I'm afraid that if I don't hit that part, I'm going to forget about it and leave it out and leave people scratching their heads on what was he just talking about. But maybe I do that anyway. I don't know. So if you guys think that this is good information and it helps you, if you haven't already, please subscribe, share this out, give me a thumbs up, and support me either with my PayPal link. That I have a QR code on the front, and I have a PayPal link in the description. You know, any way that you want to help out, and then leaving comments. Comments actually help this get seen more in the algorithms. Okay, so I appreciate everybody out there. God bless everybody out there on the other side of this screen. Thank you for listening. Future proves past, and stay vigilant. Love y'all. See you next time.